This is your host, Job Moraga from Marang Spiritual Ministries. Brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about a variety of topics. In particular, these topics that I want to discuss, brothers and sisters, they relate to revelations, encounters, and prophecies. So without any further ado, let me start. Last weekend, I went home, the place where I was born. I wanted to, in my language, Setswana, go gata mabala. So I wanted to walk through the streets of the village where I was born. I walked through the streets after so many years. I haven't done that in years. I would go home to my mother's place. I will be with her. Then from there, I will go back to where I live. So this time around, I had time to be there for almost 4 days. And I walked through the streets and I felt like a young man again. So the first 2 days were not eventful. It was okay. I walked through the streets as I proclaimed the streets. This is my land, I said. I proclaimed the streets. And I walked through the streets, and it was only on the last day before I could leave that I was visited by two spirits. They came in the early hours of the morning. Of course, these are territorial spirits. They came in the early hours of the morning. I saw them and I saw how they were dealt with swiftly. So that was great, to see my hometown being cleansed, or my home village being cleansed of all these territorial spirits. And as I said, brothers and sisters, I just rock up, I just show up, and I pray. I make my proclamations to say that only the living God should exist in that particular place. The Spirit of the living God should run that place, whether it's the Holy Spirit or the holy angels. But that is what I normally pray for. So I believe that my hometown has been cleansed. I believe that there will be changes, people will progress, and people will certainly be happy. So that was my visit this past weekend, where I visited my hometown. And brothers and sisters, I know that I'm keeping this one in the within circulation, but I want to do it for that specific reason that I have mentioned in the past videos, that we must always watch what is happening in the Middle East. So I just want to update my prophecy about Russia and Israel. Currently, brothers and sisters, as we have seen in the news, the Russian fighter jets are in Palestine. They are circulating that area. And of course, that move by the Russians took Israel by a surprise. So watch the developments, brothers and sisters. Something is brewing. As I said, this one I saw very clearly. I saw the Russian president approaching the Israeli-Syrian border with tanks. I didn't see the actual engagement, but I saw that the Prime Minister of Israel had to run for cover. I still maintain that the vision shall come to pass. So be on the lookout for that one. The third one that I wanted to give feedback about, when I say that wait for it and the vision shall come to pass. 7 months ago, I gave a prophecy about the EFF. I also gave a prophecy about the Mbuisen in Ndlozi. I said that I saw him in civilian clothes. And of course, it has happened. The last week, you all saw him as he resigned from the EFF. And you saw that he's pursuing some roles as a civilian, in the marketplace, probably academia and all of that. But you saw that the prophecy has come to pass. I wouldn't have known. I don't know the gentleman. And I still give another prophecy about him Julius Malema, or the leader of the EFF, and then also Floyd Shivambu. I said previously that I saw all three of them in civilian clothes, and they were together, they were having a discussion. So watch the space for that one as well. I don't know what they were talking about, but I was shown that they will ultimately get together and have some form of a discussion. Whether to return to the EFF for the other two, I don't know. But they were all in civilian clothes, not their normal political regalia that they normally wear. So watch the space. It's another prophecy that I'm giving way, way, way ahead of time. Now, this one, brothers and sisters, the last one, it is a bit concerning because I am still praying about it, in the sense that I don't have all the details, but I do have some details that I will share. However, I don't know who this attack, whatever it is being directed to. But let me first start at the beginning. So, brothers and sisters, a few months ago, I gave a prophecy about the president of the United States, the current president, Donald Trump. At that time, he was a president-elect, I believe, and I gave the prophecy that he needs to pray, he needs to focus on what God is telling him, and he will be re-elected. And we know that history was made, he was re-elected. But I also said, as I gave an update, that I didn't want to do it. If it wasn't God who said do it, I didn't want to do it for one specific reason. I just felt uncomfortable about the man. I felt that he's a bully, and when the Lord said stand in the gap for him, I did that reluctantly. But if God says you have to do it, you don't ask whether you are right or he's right. You just do what you are commanded to do. So I stood in the gap for the current US president, and I subsequently made another video where I complained about him, about his behavior. And I don't have to say much, brothers and sisters. I mean, you can just look at all his executive orders, the kind of behavior that I spoke about in my second video, saying that he seems to be a bully. Is his way or no way? But this vision that I had is very disturbing, brothers and sisters. And again, please bear with me because I don't have all the details, but it is very disturbing. I saw him very clearly. I saw him. He was frustrated. I think there was something that frustrated him. It could have been the deportation program that he's busy with. It could have been all these executive authorities, or whatever they call them, whatever that he's signing against certain individuals, certain countries, and all of that. It could have been that frustrated him, and it could have been even my home country, South Africa, that frustrated him. He decided that South Africa was out of line. South Africa was committing genocide. South Africa was taking land from white people, and you know the story, brothers and sisters. I'm no longer into politics and all of that. I am now a spiritual man. I'm into spiritual matters. But anyway, the Lord showed me that he was complaining. My main concern is that, first of all, I don't know what was he complaining about, but he was complaining to a spirit. I saw the spirit, and it is not a nice spirit that he was complaining to. And I heard the spirit very well. I think I even know who I'm talking about. But as I said, I've sought the face of the Lord to pray about these things so that I can give you accurate information. There are certain things in a vision that you are not given. You have to make them up. When I say make them up, I mean you don't have to lie, but you can proclaim them to say, look, I believe this is what it was meant. So in this instance, because it is very, very serious, I don't want to make up anything. It's been a week. We into the second week now since I had the vision, and I've seeked the face of the Lord. I continue to pray, to ask the spirits that brought me the vision to clarify what is it that I was seeing, because clearly he's seeking advice from, or he will get an advice from an evil spirit, and I don't think he knows that. I think because of his ego, and also because he's a bully, he just wants to get whatever done, whichever way that he can get it done. But I'm concerned about the spirit, because the spirit said something very disturbing. The spirit said to him, "Have you considered going virtual?" Now, brothers and sisters, it's a loaded term when somebody says that go virtual, because it could be anything. It could be anything related to computers, anything related to IT, anything related to military hardware, software. It's a complicated story. But I wanted to let you know, brothers and sisters, that it was very clear that there is a spirit that is going to advise him. Whatever that the spirit advised him about, it is not nice for you and I, because I saw the anger in his face, or in his eyes. Clearly, he was frustrated by something which the Lord did not reveal to me. So I'm just taking a wild guess there, brothers and sisters, based on what we see in the news, the fact that he has been deporting people, the fact that he has been signing these executive orders, the fact that he has had a problem with my home country as well, South Africa. So one doesn't know what is it that his anger is directed at. But you see, brothers and sisters, where the Lord says stand in the gap for somebody, and you do that for a particular purpose, which was for his re-election. He has been re-elected. Now the Lord shows me another side of the man, and he's saying that this is what is going to happen. Now the question that I need to ask you, brothers and sisters, those of you who are believers, the question that I need to ask you is this: now, do I stand in the gap for him, or I move out of the gap? Because clearly I have discerned that this spirit that is advising him, it is clearly an evil spirit. It is a spirit of destruction. It is giving him this sense of superiority which is not there. Brothers and sisters, they still don't get it, these presidents. I hope somebody helps them understand the basics. You've got no power. Simple as that. You've got no power. And you've got some spiritual advisors who should help you understand this elementary concept, very basic. You've got no power. You are in that office because he decided that you should be in that office. So don't complicate things. You've got no power. Rather, when you are in that office, try to please the one who can destroy both body and soul. Don't try to be him. Don't try to be him. That goes for you too, President Trump. No power at all. No power. You may assume that you have any, but we stand in the gap for you. It's not only me. There's many of us. You may choose to believe us, or you may choose to ignore us. Don't let us go too far. Don't let us get out of the way, out of the gap, and you are on your own. In the realm of the spirit, if you are not protected there, there is no protection in the physical. So look up to God, pray, and don't try to imitate him. Your host, brothers and sisters, from Around Spiritual Ministries, Job Moraka. Thank you and goodbye.